So we've got 4 auxiliaries, which are our amps here. We've got our Qs.
And 2 main outputs.
Our 2 main outputs.
Yeah.
Our master or patched.
Patched or can be put across the stereo mix bus. Yeah.
Control room levels.
Yeah.
Master selections.
Yeah.
Talkback.
Some inputs, rev return 2, rev return, stereo rev return inputs as well, with width controls.
Yeah.
Okay, they come from the Genesis and from the 8816. Right. People seem to love that, really love those. So I put them in for the returns here, and then another set of mono returns as well onto the mix bus as well, because you might want to feed some mixes that you've got from the door back in and put them on, route them on, which are pre-records, if you like, something like that. Or alternative, I was talking to you about the simple input. Yep. Well, say for instance you've done your recording, and say you've got a 16-channel console, you've got 32 tracks you've got to mix. Okay, yep. So 16 of them can be brought back on the channel path, and then 16 of them can be brought back on the simple input. Okay, you can route the channel paths to the main mix bus. Yep. And then you can route the simple inputs to the Q mix bus, because now you're not using the Q mix bus because you're not using the headphones.
We're mixing, we're not
You're
tracking,
mixing, that's right. So therefore, then what you've got is you've got a button here which can put the Q mix and dump it onto the main mix, okay?
Right.
So you've then got the 2 mixes together, and then you're mixing the final thing down onto your stereo main output.
And instead of mixing on faders, you're mixing on the Q mix.
On the Q mix, yeah, that's right. Now, also with that is that you've got one extra thing that you can do, which is that if you wanted to say you were saying that I actually had of my tracks I was bringing back, if I had say 12 on the channels and 12 on the simple inputs, then 12 of them might be drum tracks. So you would want to mix all the drum tracks together. And then what you could do is send that out to a compressor and then return it back in on the direct inputs onto the mix bus. So you've now got a stem which you've processed, okay, for the drums separately. Yeah. Okay, so you can do it either by going direct, where if you didn't want to do any processing, or you can go out on patch these if you wanted, patch these on. They could be the drum compressors, and then bring it back that way. So that's the reason for not only having the stereo rev inputs, because obviously you need reverb returns, but also having the two DI inputs to do that, really. The other things we've got on this panel, the master panel here, is of course we've got a headphone output, because there's a lot of engineers that love to mix and master with headphones. Some people trust headphones a lot, and need to hear how it sounds on headphones.
And also, if you're sitting on Cubics, you kind of want to hear exactly what's going on in the Cubics.
Yeah, so you've got the best of both worlds. You can have the monitor mix in your speakers, and then the artist is complaining about the Q mix, so you can go to the Q mix and listen on the headphones and adjust him, and not adjust anything else that you've got balanced on what you're doing. Okay, so you've got also an SLS send as well, which is effectively a second Q mix send. Okay, right. So that doesn't have to be a set of loudspeakers out in the studio. It could be another set of cans for somebody, and again they can be fed the Q, the mix, what you're listening to in the control room, or we've got 2 external buttons on here, and of course that could be the backing tracks coming back from the door, okay, which have been mixed in the door, ready for the artist to be able to sing along with.
But as an artist producer, or even say the producer driving the artist, can I have a listen to that? I want to check that I did it okay, boom, I can play back instant. Yeah. That's right. Very, very cool, very, very flexible.
And one of the other things that is very, sorry, I'm going on.
No, okay, carry on.
One of the other things that's very important, which tends to get overlooked all the time, and that's what I was talking to you about, is the people being comfortable in the session with the gears working, the engineer's happy with the desk, is getting what he wants out of the desk, and the balances and the various tasks that he's got to do to get that to capture the best recordings he can from the band and make them comfortable. But it's the talkback. It's the ability to be able to communicate across the other side of the glass.
Rather than...
but be able to do it in an intelligent way where, again, you're not howl round feedback and all that sort of stuff happening as well. So the talkback facilities on here, we have the talkback to the cue is quite interesting in that it was something that I developed for the 88R, and then I developed for the Genesis, is where you get the cue mix in the headphones, and then when you want to talk to the artist, because it could be where the artist is going to come up for an overdub, so you've set the backing tracks, and then you start to talk to the artist and you say, we're coming up, we're going to drop in, we're dropping in now, and then that would happen. Now, in a lot of cue systems, the talkback would be fighting with the cue mix program,
right?
And the headphones have got louder, and it's uncomfortable. Yeah. But what happens with this is that the program for the cue mix is dimmed by 20 dB, and then it allows you to talk over that with the level set correctly so that everybody's comfortable. So the cue mix goes down, you talk, it comes back again, it goes down, it comes back again. So that's one of the things we did with the talkback. And then another thing we did was the red light. For a classic example is that if you are using the SLS, okay, and you're feeding it out to a set of loudspeakers in the studio, and the red light comes on, then you can't talk. There's no talkback, so there can't be any form of howl round and stuff like that. So it's always very controlled in the sort of the talkback section, and it's very important that you've got the ability to be able to control it properly.
Well, I am going to have a play with my 10 channels and my Beatles backing track, or my Beatles track. But for now, Robin, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've been James from Pro Tools Expert, and we are still here at Neve.